Welcome to the 21st Annual Veterans Day Ceremony. I'm Jerry Boyer. I'm chairman of the Bell Scott Committee. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Bell Scott Committee, it's the oldest civilian military organization in the nation whose mission is to promote a positive relationship between the city of Belleville and Scott Air Force Base. It is my honor to be with you today as we celebrate and thank our veterans who serve our country. We begin with a presentation of colors by the combined honor guard of the Belleville Police and Fire Departments, accompanied by Marty Petrie on bagpipes, followed by the Star Spangled Banner sung by Keisha Gwynn, Tech Sergeant, U.S. Air Force retired. Please stand if you are able and remain standing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Dr. Ryan Boyd, Superintendent of Belleville Public Schools, District 118, along with the student and essay and poster contest winners. The pledge will be followed by an invocation by the 375th Air Mobility Wing Chaplain, Captain Martin Hahn.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor to give the invocation today. Please participate in your tradition as I lead the invocation in mind. Gracious Almighty God, we give you thanks this day for gathering us in each other's and your presence to thank you for the heart of service. As we remember that you said you came not to be served, but to serve and give your life as a ransom for many. Veterans Day is a day of celebrating those who have stepped into the gap to serve their neighbors at the cost of comfort, closeness to family, and even safety. We are grateful for such men and women and their families who did not consider their own personal needs to be greater than the call of the nation's security, and even more grateful that you created and instilled such hearts. We are also thankful that the nation, and especially those gathered here, are appreciative of these brothers and sisters in arms. The thanks of their fellow citizens is not the reason for which any enter the military, but it unites us as glad partners. So we thank you this day for all those who have given some, and to bear solemn remembrance for those some who have given all. We pray especially for those 3.9 million with service-related disability ratings. Lord, bless them and let them know that they are not alone and that we stand with them. We pray that you bless all of us here, all those who are and who have served, and these United States of America. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. It is with great admiration that I introduce the following dignitaries present with us today. So please stand as I introduce you, and we'll wait on the introduction of General Lyons for detail later. So first of all, Colonel Scott Heathman. He is the commander of the 375th Air Mobility Wing. Command Sergeant Leon Galloway, who is also with the 375th Air Mobility Wing, and I know that you are Scott Heathman's right-hand man. Colonel Shay Warakomsky, also with the 375th Communications Group. With the 618th Air Operations Center, Brigadier General Jimmy Canlis. U.S. Navy Captain Kevin Stevens. Jacqueline Hahn. Pelletier with the 618th Air Operations Center. We also have with us Mr. James Gomrecht. He's a state's attorney. We have Steve Russell here representing United States Representative Mike Boss. And with the St. Clair County Board, Ms. Kahala Clay. Please pray. Please welcome again Dr. Boyk for the Student Contest Winners presentation.
Thank you. I'm here today to represent educators from all the schools in the city of Belleville. We are honored to be part of this celebration. This past week, all the schools in District 118 and throughout Belleville held Veterans Day assemblies to thank and honor our veterans and active duty service men and women. We were very fortunate to have several veterans and members of our armed services join us and be part of these special events. I would also like to give a shout out to our teachers, administrators, and support staff in all of our schools for inspiring our boys and girls each and every day. Each year in Belleville, all of the schools are invited to participate in a poster and essay contest for boys and girls in grades K through 8. The contest is broken into two categories, poster and essay. The theme for this year was Veterans Are Special People. Before we hand out our gift cards to this year's winners, I would like to invite our first place essay winners to come up and read their essays today. Please give a warm welcome to our first place winner in the kindergarten through second grade bracket, Jules Reed from Franklin School.
Veterans are special people. First, they serve our country. All the branches of the military are super important. Next, they give us our freedom because they give up their freedoms to fight for and to support our country. Last, some have even had to make the ultimate sacrifice. This is so sad, it affects their families and so many people. As you can see, veterans are so special to us. We owe them more than words can say. We love you, veterans.
Now please welcome our first place winner in the 3rd through 5th grade bracket, Colton Parker from Franklin School.
Veterans are special people. Veterans are special people. They keep our country free. They fought for our freedom. They fought for our freedom to help us. I hope you honor them like me. They gave up times with their families to help in or fight for peace. During war, there were times they were hungry. It's time to make them a feast. Veterans Day is a time to remember all the people that served with love. Fly our flag's colors proudly so they can wave to veterans above.
Finally, please help me welcome our first place winner in the grade 6 through 8 bracket, Kennedy Williams from West Junior High School.
Today, the United States is still standing strong. We go to school every day, we have jobs, and the freedom to do whatever we want. This is because of our brave veterans. Some days we may not realize it, but veterans that serve for our country are true heroes to our everyday life. If fighting for our country to protect a lot of people was easy, everyone would do it. One reason we should have Veterans Day to honor veterans is because they have to leave their family to fight, not knowing if they will get to see them again. These veterans risk their lives to keep our freedom, as well as going through rough obstacles while fighting. In conclusion, veterans are brave and hardworking people that contribute to giving us the valuable freedom we have today. I am grateful for the heroes who serve for our country. Not all heroes wear capes. Veterans are special people.
Now I would like to recognize those poster and essay contest winners from this year's competition. A special thanks to Commerce Bank for their generosity in donating the gift cards. Each winner today will be receiving a gift card to Barnes & Noble. This time I would like to ask General Lyons to help me pass out the awards. Second place for the kindergarten through 2nd grade poster is Elena Reichling from West Haven. First place in the K-2 poster contest, Kyla Reed from Franklin School. Second place in the 3 through 5 poster, Takara Trailer from Union School. First place, 3 to 5 poster, Layla Moody, West Haven. Second place, grade 6 to 8 poster, Elizabeth Wilson, Central Junior High. First place, grade 6 to 8 poster, Annalise Williams, MG School. Second place, K through 2 essay, Olivia Atkinson, grade 2, Franklin. First place, K through 2 essay, Jules Reed. Second place, 3 through 5 essay, Briley Thurnow, Roosevelt School. First place, grades 3 through 5 essay, Colton Parker, Franklin School. Second place, grades 6 through 8 essay, Matthew Bierman, Roosevelt School. And first place in our grade 6 through 8 essay, Kennedy Williams, West Junior High. Congratulations once again to all our winners. Boys and girls, thanks for the hard work and thought that you put into all your essays and posters. All the posters will be on display on the boards out in front at the end of the ceremony for everyone to view. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank once again our veterans and active duty servicemen. We are so thankful for the freedoms that you provide. Again, we want to thank the City of Belleville and Commerce Bank for partnering with us in our poster and essay contest. Thank you.
The honor of giving the bio for General Stephen Lyons, who is, I'm sure that these kids weren't as impressed with you as they should have been. This is a really big deal to have General Lyons with us. But the essays were great, and I think you found your future leaders here in the military. So
I've got contracts at this point.
So parents, you can get up, you've got contracts waiting for your kids. Here we go. So General Steve Lyons was confirmed July 31st, 2018 to be the 13th commander of the U.S. Transportation Command TRANSCOM, one of 10 combatant commands in the Department of Defense. U.S. TRANSCOM's mission is to protect and sustain military power globally in order to assure our friends and allies, deter potential adversaries, and if necessary, respond to win decisively. General Lyons' experience spans 36 years of military service in positions of progressive leadership responsibility. He began his career in Germany during the Cold War and subsequently held a wide range of assignments to include command of troops at every level, multiple operational deployments, and over 6 years of experience in joint assignments. As a battalion command in 2003, he participated in the 3rd Infantry Division's major combat operations to invade Iraq. Since 2003, he has spent over 40 months deployed to the U.S. Central Command Area of Responsibility in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. He also served as the 14th U.S. Transcom Deputy Commander from 2015 to 2017. A native of Rensselaer, New York, General Lyons graduated from the Rochester Institute of Technology and was commissioned a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army in 1983. He holds 2 master's degrees, one from the Naval Postgraduate School in Logistics Management and a second from the Industrial School of the Armed Forces in National Resource Strategy. His awards include the Defense Distinguished Service Medal and the Master Parachutist Badge. General Lyons has been married to Maureen Lyons, who is actually here. So Maureen, welcome, sorry about that, for nearly 30 years, and they have 2 children, Kara, a middle school special education teacher, and Dylan, a junior in high school. General Lyons, excuse me, I didn't mean to demote there. Welcome. Everyone, please, a round of applause for General Lyons.
That's the tough part. The mayor said, now you gotta follow those kids. Hey, before I do start though, I do want to recognize these great children who come up here and poured their heart out in their artwork and their words. And I agree with Jerry. I mean, I think the future of the United States of America is in great hands. How about a round of applause for the kids? I was kind of joking with the mayor earlier. I told him that, you know, if this was an Army ceremony, would he be outdoors today? But I'm really glad it's not. But, Mr. Mayor, thank you for inviting me to speak today. It's an honor to be here with you. And you and Rita are just incredible public servants. I know this is your 4th term as mayor, but it started well beyond that. And when you look at your resume, it's just an incredible story of public service. So thank you very much. And most of you know their son Matt is deployed in Afghanistan at this very moment. He's a trauma surgeon in the United States Army. He's been on multiple deployments, stationed down at Joint Base Lewis McChord, and hopefully he's going to make it back for Thanksgiving. But we're very, very proud of him. I know you are. Every time we get a chance to talk, you give me a status update. So
we can copy both Army.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Jerry, thank you for your leadership, all you've done to pull the ceremony together and all that it takes. I know it takes a lot to do that. I know you have a full-time occupation, but you have time to spend leading the Bell Scott Committee, and this is a very, very strong community relationship with Scott Air Force Base. And I always have to recognize my wing commander here, Scott Heathman, the 375th Wing Commander, because I may be the 4-star headquarters on the base, but he runs the wing, so I actually work for him someday. Scott, it's great to have you and the chief and everybody here. And the team at the National Anthem, wonderful. Color Guard, wonderful. Everyone, the bagpipes, how about a round of applause for everybody? I also want to recognize our veteran service organizations and any Gold Star family members that we may have in attendance. Those are very, very special, as you well know, and represent so much to our nation. So across the nation today, this Veterans Day, we honor the service and the sacrifice and the commitment of those men and women that have been called to arms and have worn the special cloth of this great nation. And we pause to thank our veterans, and we ought to also pause to thank their family members. So as many of you know, Veterans Day was actually created at an Armistice Day on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, this very day right here, back in 1918, marking the end of World War I, and then later was renamed Veterans Day in 1938. But it's important to note that we observe Veterans Day not on an anniversary of a great battle, but instead a day when war ended and our nation was again at peace. Our veterans are foremost committed to preserving peace, democracy, and freedoms, but all veterans know that in order to preserve peace and prevent war, we must be capable and ready to win war. And on a day like today, I'm always reminded that before there was a nation, indeed, there was a veteran. And our nation was forged in war. And fortunately for us, the first Minutemen had the courage to fight for our independence, our liberty, and a government of the people. So this year marked the 75th anniversary of D-Day and the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe during World War II. And so it's especially fitting that we thank our veterans from the greatest generation. And I do want to recognize at this point, I know Mr. Bruce and others may be here, veterans of our World War II, greatest generation. Please raise your hand, sir. Have a round of applause for our World War II veterans. So the Department of Veterans Affairs says that of the 16 million Americans who served in World War II, fewer than 500,000 are still with us. We owe them a great debt of gratitude. The international norms that followed World War II have prevented wars between great powers for the last 75 years. You see, there's no mystery behind the endurance and success of American liberty. It's because in every generation, from the Revolutionary War to this very hour, brave Americans have stepped forward and served honorably in the armed forces of the United States. If you believe, as I believe, that there is a desire in every human heart to live in freedom, then this is a special day. Our veterans are special people. Their accomplishments throughout history have been extraordinary, and all of us have benefited from their service. They are special people because they were forged in a culture of discipline, cohesion, selfless service, sacrifice, and being part of a team whose cause is larger than themselves. So it's not a surprise. In poll after poll, our military professionals are voted among the most respected professions in the United States. And why? What do the surveys tell us about what the American public admires? They're jobs that are committed to a higher purpose for the greater good. They require competitive entry. They're not jobs for everyone. Hard work is expected, as well as sacrifice and selfless service. And they're characterized by a sacred public trust of accountability, integrity, loyalty, and patriotism. These are the very characteristics that define our military members and our veterans. Today, our nation has an estimated 18 million veterans. Those that returned home were changed by their service, and many became change agents for society. Our veterans have continued a culture of service when they take off their uniform as teachers, first responders, corporate executives, elected officials, and the list goes on, making positive impacts, building stronger futures, and inspiring future generations. And you can see this firsthand right here in the county of St. Clair. Regardless of military branch, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, this day belongs to them. And while we live in a world of rapid change with a wide range of adversaries who challenge our way of life, and the re-emergence of great power competition, if there's anything that our veterans can teach us, it's that there's no threat that we cannot meet and no challenge that we cannot overcome. When our national survival is at stake, there is no number two position. We must be prepared to win. So today, less than 1% of the military-age population serve in uniform. Our service members represent a small few committed to bear the responsibility of preserving and protecting our freedoms and liberties outlined in the Constitution. Our military service members represent what is best about America. Despite their extraordinary accomplishment and contributions to history, our veterans and military members expect little in return. They don't seek entitlement, fame, money, or recognition. In fact, most are silent, humble heroes. That's the way they like it. But as a nation, we must remain committed to lifelong success for our veterans by providing access to employment opportunities, education, and health care, especially those that are injured or wounded in the line of duty. And above all else, we owe them thanks. So that is why I'm so pleased today to see this 21st Annual Veterans Day ceremony here in Belleville dedicated to acknowledging and thanking our veterans. And so I'd like to ask if you are a veteran, if you could stand or raise your hand if unable to stand, so that we could recognize your service and say thank you for all that you've done. So all around the country this week in cities just like this one, we pause to thank our veterans for their military service and contributions to national security. And Belleville, this great town here of 45,000, I think Mr. Mayor is what you told me. This great town with the leadership of Mayor Eckert, very patriotic and supportive of our military and our veterans. I'm proud today to stand with you. So happy Veterans Day to all of you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
So General Lyons, thank you for acknowledging and having the veterans stand up. I wanted to share with you that we have two veterans groups here today as well. So we have people representing the Swansea American Legion Post 2007. If you could stand. Or at least we yeah, there you go. We also have veterans in the lobby as well. And then we also have Belleville VFW Post 1739 here as well. And they may be in the lobby. Is there any other veterans group that I missed that's here?
Catholic War veterans.
Perfect, thank you. Anyone upstairs?
American Legion Post 58.
Perfect, thank you. In an additional effort to recognize our veterans in attendance, during the following Armed Forces medley, please stand when you hear the song for the military branch you or a family member of yours has served in or is currently serving in. if you're able, for the placement of the Veterans Wreath by U.S. Marine Corps Private First Class Elgin Schurz, accompanied later on the bugle by Rita Winkler. Please come forward. Please be seated. The one thing that I've learned by being so involved with the military with Scott Air Force Base and the Bell Scott Committee is how important spouses are. So I want to first recognize Rita Eckert before Mark talks. So please stand up, Rita, for a round of applause for all your support. Behind every great woman, there's or man or woman is a spouse, right? Yes. So, with a couple remarks, I'd like to recognize and bring to the podium Mayor Mark Eckert, Mayor of Belleville.
Good morning. I am always so proud to be here and just so touched by the talent, the sincerity, and the emotion that we feel in these ceremonies each year. General Lyons, I just want to tell you, your remarks today were just right on, perfect. You, even though we don't get to see each other on a weekly basis, I feel like we have developed a friendship. And you and your wife, Maureen, we are so very appreciative of you being here today, but your support for so many things with Belleville and our entire region here, that the way you give the leadership to so many young men and women. I'm also proud that my son's in the Army like you. No offense, Air Force, but I finally got somebody up here that's also, didn't know my son was going to go into the Army. He was originally accepted to the Naval Academy, but they told him if he, even after he graduated, it would be their choice if he became a doctor or not. So he switched to the Army. They said, if you make the grades, you can become a surgeon. So that's where he ended up in the Army. My sincere thanks today to the Honor Guard, to Jerry Boyer for our friendship and what she does for Belleville on a daily basis, but to all of you here in the room from Bell Scott. Bell Scott is a special group of men and women that constantly get together with this fine young man, the mayor of the base, Colonel Heathman and his staff. And our sole purpose is to try to do everything we can to help assist the young men and women who serve our country. And years ago it was Air Force, but today it's all branches. And it's just fabulous to get to meet the young people. We went out there recently and barbecued for the Belleville Dorm. And I have to tell you, it's a highlight of the summer because they love to interact. I love to hear where they're from and what they're doing and what their goals are, what they've experienced in the Belleville area and what they like, because I learn from that. But we have some very talented young men and women that are leading us into the future. And we are reminded today of the very younger but strong and outstanding talent that was present today from our local schools. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an impressive group. We've had some impressive people over the years, some young people. But today, their words and their way they stood up here poised and the way they came ready to present themselves to a group of strangers. Again, let's give them one more round of applause. To the parents and the teachers who prepare them, we can't thank you enough. And as a community leader, we are looking to all of you to continue to guide these young people and build that enthusiasm and that spirit of service in them so that they too are ready and willing to take these leadership positions and lead this great city and this great country. So as we celebrate today and remember, I know my father and my father-in-law were both Navy, as I was telling the General. And uncles were in the Navy. I got a son in the Army currently. Hopefully we're going to hear from him today or tomorrow that he's coming home. And he's been deployed numerous times, like so many of these men and women. I'm not telling them a thing. But I learned a little differently as a parent in recent years. You see it differently. I have a much greater understanding of what the people at Scott Air Force Base and our friends, when we meet with them, when they talk about their deployed troops and their deployed family members. The last few years, it's really struck me differently. We have very personal prayers and very personal feelings. So my deepest sincere thank you to all of you who are wearing the uniform today and who have retired or worn it for whatever length of time in the past. The city of Belleville has a great history of representing and being proud of our veterans. It stands right out here in this roundabout here at Public Square since 1937, our public memorial fountain that was put there in tribute to the veterans of World War I. And we have continued to remember and respect and give thanks to our veterans every year since. If you go out to Walnut Hill Cemetery, our city cemetery, we go back with tributes to the Civil War for our veterans and every war thereafter. So I'm proud of the citizens of Belleville for what you do and continue, what you have done and what you continue to do for our friends at Scott Air Force Base and throughout the nation. And I thank you all today, once again, for taking time out of your busy days to come here to City Hall. I'm glad I made the right call this year and bring it inside. I feel like a school superintendent, right? No snow day today, but it's we're glad you're here. For those who are out in the lobby, we appreciate you. Or up in the balcony, we have this balcony now that we remodeled City Hall. Thank you for coming. Thank you for remembering, and thank you for everything you do for this great city and this great nation. Thank you.
Opportunity to hear the beautiful voice of Keisha Quinn with God Bless America, followed by benediction by Captain Hahn.
I just want to say thank you so much to all of our veterans, and I'm so grateful to now be a part of this awesome family. So God bless all of you all, and God bless these United States of America. We invite you to sing along with as we start the beginning of this song. God bless America. Oh, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Yeah. Ooh.
Wow. Please stand if you are able, and remain standing through the retiring of the colors and the closing remarks. Receive the benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen and amen.
I don't think it's by accident that Veterans Day falls just a few short weeks before Thanksgiving. In this great country, we have so much to be thankful for. And again, to all of our veterans who are here today, thank you for your service. To General Lyons for your inspiring and insightful remarks. To Mayor Eckert and all who participated in this event, those who planned it and set up for it, thank you as well. But last but not least, thanks to all of you that have taken time out of your busy day to gather here as a community who recognizes the sacrifices that generations of men and women have made in defense of our freedom. God bless you all for being here. God bless our veterans, and God bless America. And the mayor reminded me that we have a reception outside, and it's snowing, still snowing, so might as well stay. So please enjoy. Thank you.